All right. This is the end of America. I'm not saying it lightly, and I'm not trying to be like a hyperbolic doomsayer that just screams fascism every time a politician does something that I don't like. But what I'm about to show you is not hyperbole. This is no exaggeration. So thanks to some fantastic reporting by Ken Klippenstein, we now have confirmation that buried in President Trump's latest budget request is a little gem, a new FBI-led center designed to proactively hunt down so-called domestic terrorists. And they've helpfully provided a list of what constitutes a domestic terrorist belief. Are you ready for this? Because make sure you are. Grab a pen, because you're probably on the list. This new NSPM-7 Joint Mission Center is a multi-agency task force dedicated to rooting out Americans motivated by beliefs like, quote-unquote, anti-Americanism. Okay, a bit vague, right? But let's keep going. Anti-capitalism. So basically every college sophomore with a Che Guevara t-shirt is now a national security threat. Got it. Anti-Christianity. Wow. Okay, so that's kind of like a lot of what I've talked about on this channel. So, so much for my fucking First Amendment right, I guess. Another, support for the overthrow of the U.S. government. Well, that's been on the books since basically forever. But then we get to the real meat of this Orwellian nightmare. How about extremism on migration? What the fuck does that even mean? Does wanting more open borders make you an extremist? Does wanting a wall make you an extremist? Or is it just a catch-all to monitor anyone with a strong opinion on immigration? How about extremism on race or extremism on gender? Are you seeing the pattern here? These aren't defined ideologies. These are broad, vague categories designed to ensnare literally everyone. But my personal favorite here, and the one that really shows the mask slipping completely off, is this hostility towards those who hold traditional American views on family, religion, and morality. Okay, I see. So this isn't a counterterrorism center. It's the official enforcement arm of the Republican Party's culture war. It's a thought police division dedicated to protecting the precious feelings of people who think traditional American views is a thing that exists and isn't just a constantly shifting goalpost of conservative grievances. If you criticize the nuclear family, you're a terrorist. If you're critical of organized religion, you're a terrorist. If you think traditional morality is a load of regressive bullshit, congratulations, you're on the watch list. This isn't about preventing violence. This is about criminalizing dissent. It's about making sure that the only acceptable political thought in this country is whatever flavor of MAGA orthodoxy is being served up that day. And the grand wizard of this new legislation, the man at the helm of this ship of idiots, none other than the FBI Director Kash Patel himself, a man whose entire career is a monument to unearned confidence and catastrophic failure. This is the same guy who, after the murder of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk, vowed to investigate every single person in the associated Discord servers. He painted this vast conspiracy, breathlessly talking about accomplices, and even hinting at a quote-unquote foreign nexus, letting baseless rumors about an Israeli government plot fester online. And what was the reality? As Klippenstein reported, leaked chat showed that the Discord was mostly about gaming. There was no grand conspiracy. There was no foreign plot. It was just a bunch of fucking nerds online. But that didn't matter to Kash Patel, the wannabe spy who watched too many movies. He saw an opportunity to score political points to expand his own fucking power, and he took it. Facts be damned. He's not a lawman. He's a political hack with a badge and a god complex. This is the guy who is now overseeing a 300% increase in domestic terrorism investigations. 300%. Think about that. They are manufacturing threats to justify their own existence and their own power grab. They replaced the 9/11-inspired terrorist screening center with the new, quote-unquote, threat screening center, a name so vague and so menacing it could have been lifted directly from a dystopian novel. They're creating watch lists that separate international terrorists from transnational criminals, and my favorite category, purely domestic threats. Quote unquote, threats. And what's the justification for this unprecedented expansion of the surveillance state? The budget request claims that heinous assassinations have dramatically increased. A claim that is, to put it mildly, complete and utter fucking bullshit. This is a classic authoritarian tactic. You take a single isolated tragedy, in this case, the murder of Charlie Kirk, and then you use it to terrorize the entire fucking population into surrendering their rights. You create a phantom army of domestic terrorists lurking in every chat room and on every social media platform so that people will beg you to take their freedom away in exchange for security. This isn't new. We've seen this before. This is just the most blatant I've ever fucking seen it in my life. And so I started thinking, what about the media? It's crickets. Klippenstein notes that this has yielded virtually no media attention. Of course it hasn't. It's not a sexy story. It's a bureaucratic tyranny happening in plain sight. It's easier to talk about Trump's latest tweet or which reality star said what. It's easier to perform outrage than to do the hard work of explaining to people that their government is building a machine to destroy them. This is what pre-crime looks like. This isn't like the Tom Cruise movie, jumping around in a leather jacket. This is a bureaucratic pencil pusher like Kash Patel putting you on a list because you made a mean tweet about capitalism, or because you think the idea of traditional American morality is a joke. They're not investigating crimes. They're investigating your thoughts. They're not prosecuting actions. They're pre-prosecuting opinions. So if you've ever been critical of this country, if you've ever questioned capitalism, if you've ever been hostile towards organized religions such as myself, if you've ever dared to suggest that the traditional American family structure might not be the one valid way to live, congratulations. According to your own governments, you're not a citizen with a dissenting opinion. You are a domestic terrorist. You are the enemy. And they are coming for you, not with jackboots or stormtroopers, not yet. They're coming for you with budgets and memos and watch lists and joint task forces. They're coming for you quietly, bureaucratically, until one day you try to get on a plane and you realize that you can't. Or you apply for a job and you don't get a call back. Or a file gets opened on you that you never even knew existed. This is the death of the First Amendment. This is the end of the very idea of a free society. And it's being led by a man who couldn't find his own ass with both hands and a flashlight. They are not protecting you. They are protecting their power from you. And if you don't start screaming about this, if you don't start raising hell, you're going to wake up one day in a country that you don't recognize, wondering how it all happened. Well, this is how it happens right now in a budget request nobody reads, led by an idiot that nobody should trust. And if you're not angry, you are not paying attention. So I keep on chasing